because I am a people pleaser. And I think Mormonism bred me to be that way. I think it bred me to be far more concerned about other people's emotions and other people's issues than my own. Hey, what's up guys? It's ex-mormon with My Spiritual Life, and today I'm talking about honesty again because that's what it's going to be about. Because that's what is plaguing my life right now, is the disease of honesty. If you haven't seen my most recent honesty video, I'll link it below. I'm going to talk more in depth about it with specifics to relationships, honesty and relationships. Because I'm bad at that, and I'm learning a lot, and I feel like, I don't know, I think a lot of people raised in high demand religions were taught to be very, very bad at it. So here we go. I suck at being honest with relationships, like with people that I'm close to, because I don't like hurting people's feelings. And I would rather be mad at that person and them never know than tell them if I think it's going to hurt their feelings. And I'm trying to change that, and it's really hard. I just don't like feeling like a mean person, and I feel like if you're hurting someone's feelings, you're just automatically a mean person, which makes it really difficult to navigate being honest, because you feel like you can't be honest without being mean. Ugh. And then there's people in your life that you just know they can't handle your honesty. Like, you just know it. Like, one time I had an interaction with a friend, and I was like, hey, you know, these things are bothering me. And it turned into like a really upsetting experience for both of us. And I talked to my therapist about it, and I was like, I don't know, like, what I did wrong. Like, I feel like I tried to be honest about what was going on, what was hurting our relationship, and I tried to bring that up in like the nicest way I possibly could, and it still got taken the wrong way. And my therapist said that some people, it doesn't matter like how you say it. Like, she's like, you could give them roses and chocolates, and like when you say whatever it is you're going to say, if they, you know, view it as hurtful, then they're just going to take it the wrong way, no matter how you deliver it. And that kind of made me feel a little better, because I was like, okay, so like maybe some people just are hurting a lot and they just can't take it well. And I know that sounds weird, because I'm like, it made me feel better to think maybe I didn't do something wrong. Like, maybe being honest is the right thing to do, and it's not my fault if someone just can't handle honesty no matter how I deliver it. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, so recently Jared was reading this book by Ayn Rand, and he was telling me about, there's a character in the book who is just like super pushed around by his family, and he's like an adult, but like his mom and some siblings, and they all like live with him, and they all rely on him financially, and none of them work. Like, he was sharing his thought, the main character is sharing his thoughts, and he's saying something to the effect of like, they rely on my fear of their feelings to take advantage of me. And that was super like eye-opening for me to hear it phrased that way, because I feel like I had a lot of unhealthiness with my relationship with my mother growing up, and I feel like that's exactly what it was. She really struggled to manage her emotions. And because of that, like, I really struggled to feel like I could say or do things that I wanted to do, because I was always afraid of how she was going to feel about it. I was very, very afraid of her emotions and her feelings. And I realize like how toxic that is now, because like, if you can't be in relationships with people that you can trust to be honest with, then it's just going to be a hellfire. Like, eventually you're going to get so frustrated and mad and feel so manipulated that you can't be yourself, that you can't be honest, like that it will start to really decay the relationship. Because whether you consciously notice it or not, if you are upset with someone, you react differently to them. You spend less time with them, or you're less loving, or you're less, you know what I mean? Anyway, I notice that even in my adult life, I approach a lot of my relationships with this attitude of like, I don't trust people to handle what I have to say. And so I'll just shove it down, or just like pretend it's not a big deal, or just stop hanging out with that person instead of like trying to mend things. That, because I'm just so afraid of hurting people's feelings, so afraid of how people will perceive me or if they'll reject me. And it's hard. So I've been trying in my life to be more honest in my relationships, and I can see the benefits of it, but it's like pulling my own teeth out doing this, okay? It's like trying to get myself to say the things that I feel like I really need to say is so hard. And I think it's because that foundation with my mom, like I was so over responsible for her emotions. And I felt like on some level, not only am I going to upset her and I'm going to be the bad guy, but like then it's my job to try to fix her if she's upset by what I said, because it's my fault. And it's like, okay, wait a second. If she's doing something wrong, maybe she needs to fix that thing. And like if she's sad about it, maybe I shouldn't try to fix that. And it would just turn into this mess though of like, hey, you did this thing that bothered me. And it would be like, oh, just this like, oh, I'm, so upset that, you're saying that, so hurt and da-da-da. And then it turns into like me apologizing for complaining. And it's just like this really unhealthy, it was a really unhealthy situation. I'm sure you can understand. Anyway, what I do realize is that moving forward, as I am trying to be more honest, and as I'm having success in pulling my teeth out and stumbling over my honesty, what I'm noticing is I feel more free. I feel more excited. I feel like I trust my friends more, and I have a better relationship with them, and they trust me more, which is so cool. And it's like, it bonds us, if you have healthy relationships, that's what honesty should do. And the scary thing is, not all of us have healthy relationships in our life. And that is terrifying. I'm starting to think that even though I hate being honest because I feel so guilty and I don't like coming across as mean or whatever, or confrontational, I think despite that, I think it's the right thing to do in your relationships to be healthier. And like I said, I think one, it builds better connection, but two, it also doesn't enable bad behavior. Because like if you're afraid of being truthful with someone because of how they're going to react, not only is your relationship being damaged, but on top of that, you're actually enabling them to do something that's maybe really unhealthy, because they have no incentive to change if no one brings it up. And quite frankly, I think some people, they're not really willing to change unless they have to. And so if you don't have clear boundaries, that person may never change or may never treat you differently. And I think sometimes we just kind of like wait around hoping that eventually they'll like get their crap together and be nice to us. But ultimately, I guess Dr. Phil says it best, like you teach people how to treat you, right? Anyway, I have been playing around with the idea in my head that I think that honesty might always be the right answer. And that terrifies me because I am a people pleaser. And I think Mormonism bred me to be that way. I think it bred me to be far more concerned about other people's emotions and other people's issues than my own. And so it scares me to think of like how honest I actually need to be in my life. Because I don't like the idea of hurting people's feelings or, just like, I don't want to be needlessly mean, It's hard to navigate. Comment down below what your thoughts are. Is honesty always the right answer? I feel like there's this possibility of like, honesty can ruin a relationship, right? But I'm kind of leaning into the idea that like if honesty can ruin a relationship, maybe it should. Like maybe it should ruin that relationship. Like if you can't have people in your life that you can be honest with, then like that doesn't sound healthy, right? Comment your thoughts, because I'm still playing this idea around, but I'm trying really hard to be more honest in my life and with people that I care about. And I'm realizing that it doesn't have to be a big deal always, even though it's really hard. Sometimes like I don't have to make a big deal about it. I can just say, hey, the other day you said that thing. What did you mean by that? Instead of like, you know, maybe freaking out and being like, if you said that thing, you're like, oh my gosh, you know, or whatever. Like it doesn't have to be this like explosive thing. Cause I think that in my mind, it was hard for me to separate like confrontation from like super, super high, ridiculous amounts of emotion, because that's just what I saw growing up. I think another thing that makes being honest really difficult is like you kind of have to have your shit somewhat figured out. Because if you're going to be honest with someone about either like something you don't want to do or like something they said that bothered you, then you have to kind of figure out what's going on internally to address it. Like what do you want? And what is in conflict with what you want with regards to this relationship. And so many of us don't know what we want. So many of us don't know what a healthy relationship looks like. And so we're just used to making excuses for people. And that's really hard. But ultimately, sometimes making excuses for people is not what's best for them. And I feel like I've seen that in my own life, because I know there's things that like, for example, I know there's things Jared hasn't brought up to me like when we were first married, because he was just so afraid that it would hurt my feelings. But then later when he brought it up, I was like, oh yeah, you know, I can not do that, or I can do that, or whatever. And when he wouldn't bring those things up, like it just enabled me to keep doing the things that were upsetting him. And it's like, well, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want to know, you know, what's going on. I'd rather know than not know. And I think some people would rather not know. But those are the people that really need to know. You know? I'm just going to let that. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think being like honest is a good excuse to be like an asshole. I think you can be honest and it can be kind and still not be well received, and you can be perceived as an asshole. But at least I don't think it's an excuse to be a jerk. I think it's an avenue for healthier, better connection. So yeah, this is my honesty journey. It sucks. But I feel like I am better understanding myself, what I need, what I want, and establishing better connection with people as I'm trying to navigate how to do this. And also just trying to let go of that over responsibility, because like trying to protect other people from their feelings is so exhausting, and it's also not healthy. Like, because if someone's gonna feel sad, like they need to feel sad, and if you rescue them from feeling sad, then they always need to be rescued from feeling sad. But feeling sad is not the end of the world. And if it is the end of the world for someone, then they probably need to feel sad a little bit more. I don't know. Is that callous to say? I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to figure this out. Comment below your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. It's something that I'm trying to work through. I'm trying to figure it out. But I know I don't have all the answers either. So I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say. All right, well, that's enough of my feelings for one day. If you like this video, please like it, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.